In the glitzy world of 1970s television, few stars shone brighter than Paul Michael Glaser. As Detective David Starsky on the iconic show Starsky and Hutch, Glaser wasn't just solving crimes, he was stealing hearts across America. With his curly hair, rugged good looks, and trademark tight jeans, he became the very image of masculine cool. Alongside David Soul's laid-back Hutch, Glaser brought a fiery charisma that helped turn the duo into television royalty. But while the world adored the man on screen, the man behind the camera was quietly facing trials that no amount of fame could shield him from. Welcome to Starloop News, where we dig deeper into the stories behind the stars. Born in 1943 in Cambridge, Massachusetts, Paul Michael Glaser was the youngest of 3 children. He had big dreams from an early age, attending Tulane University before earning a master's degree in fine arts from Boston University. It was his raw talent and undeniable charm that eventually led him to the role of Starsky in 1975, a role that would change everything. Starsky and Hutch ran for 4 wildly successful seasons, its gritty plots and street-smart style captivating audiences around the globe. Glaser became a household name, but life behind the scenes was about to take a devastating turn. In 1980, Paul married Elizabeth Meyer, a brilliant entrepreneur with a warm heart and a passion for change. She would later go on to found the Elizabeth Glaser Pediatric AIDS Foundation. But just 4 years into their marriage, tragedy struck. While giving birth to their daughter Ariel, Elizabeth received a blood transfusion. Unbeknownst to anyone, at the time, the blood was contaminated with HIV. That moment would mark the beginning of a nightmare. Elizabeth unknowingly passed the virus to baby Ariel through breastfeeding. At a time when the medical world barely understood AIDS, the diagnosis came with overwhelming fear and stigma. Elizabeth discovered her own HIV-positive status in 1985, shortly after giving birth to their son, Jake. By then, Ariel had already begun to show symptoms. The family was thrown into an emotional storm of hospital visits, unanswered questions, and creeping dread. In 1988, the unimaginable happened. Ariel passed away at just 7 years old. Paul and Elizabeth were crushed. The loss of a child is a pain few can fathom, and knowing it could have been prevented made it all the more heartbreaking. But the Glaser family's suffering didn't end there. Elizabeth's health began to decline as she bravely turned her pain into purpose. She became a leading advocate for AIDS research, pushing past public stigma to speak out for countless children and families. She met with presidents, testified before Congress, and brought a human face to a crisis too many were trying to ignore. Paul stood by her through it all, juggling grief, fatherhood, and the unrelenting pressure of public life. Then in 1994, the second blow fell. Elizabeth died at just 47. Paul, once the face of strength and swagger, was left alone. This time as a single father raising an HIV-positive son in a world that was only beginning to understand what that meant. But from this pain, a new chapter was born. Jake survived, thanks to advancing treatments, and grew up to continue his mother's mission. Paul, meanwhile, quietly stepped back from Hollywood. The glitz and glamour felt hollow now. Instead, he poured himself into directing, helming episodes of Miami Vice and the cult sci-fi classic The Running Man. Eventually, he found solace in an entirely new form of storytelling, visual art. Through painting and digital artwork, Paul began to express emotions that words couldn't capture. His pieces, raw, abstract, and deeply personal, revealed the inner world of a man who had seen too much but refused to be broken. His exhibitions gained attention, and fans once drawn to his TV presence now admired his soul laid bare on canvas. Today, at 82, Paul Michael Glaser looks nothing like the dashing detective of the 70s. His hair is white, his walk slower, his face weathered by time. But in his eyes still glows the fire of an artist and the resilience of a survivor. He continues to paint, to speak out, and to support HIV awareness, carrying forward the torch Elizabeth lit decades ago. And while some fans may be shocked by how different he looks today, many see something deeper. They see wisdom. They see strength. They see a man who turned tragedy into legacy. Paul once said, "Life isn't about avoiding the bruises. It's about collecting the scars and making them part of your story." And what a story he has told. Michael Glaser is no longer just a TV heartthrob. He's an artist, a father, and a symbol of enduring love and resilience. He didn't disappear, he transformed. And in doing so, he created something far more lasting than fame. A legacy built not on spotlight, but on strength. Thanks for watching Star Loop News. If you found Paul's story as moving as we did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Tap the bell icon and give us a thumbs up. Stay tuned for more powerful stories behind the faces you thought you knew, only here on Star Loop News.